there. Hi there once more. I'll just pick up from where I ended. Let me just do this. I had a disconnection. Thank you all for joining me once more. Please share with your friends. If you lost me, I'll quickly share. All right. Thank you for joining me. Thank you all. Let me quickly share with some people. Let me just write out it's a reconnection, please. And I'm back with you shortly. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. We've lost some people. Let's see what happens. Great, thank you. Once more, you're welcome to Inspiration with Dr. Sylvia Forchap-Likambi. And thank you all for joining me. Thank you. Oh, wow. This is my 10th broadcast. Congratulations. That's lovely. Let's just quickly look at change again. Thank you. Oh, be patient, please. Just stay tuned. Change will happen. You know, the space, the internet is in control. And, you know, I couldn't control that. So I have to be actually, I don't want to say victim of change. I'm actually proactive now to actually create the situation that I want. Thank you again for joining me. We're going to continue. We're going to go live. This cannot change us. We cannot become a victim of this change, of this disconnection. We're going to create what we want. We want to have a great hour of inspiration tonight. And we're sure going to have that. All right? Just stay with me, please. I'll be right back. I'll just reconnect with some of those who have lost me. Thank you. Please share with your friends. All right. Thank you. I'll do my last sharing now. I'm just trying to. Fantastic. Thank you all. Thanks for coming back on board. You see, change will happen anyway, anyhow. If we cannot control change, I couldn't control what happened earlier. And we become victim of change. We need to adjust and adapt to fit to the change. Well, I think this was really good for the theme we are looking at tonight. And if you're not proactive, if you're not ready, well, things like this are expected when you are using, you know, the phone, internet, and all of that. So it's like being prepared for what to do when those change happens. Is that all right? Great. I can see the names of those joining me. I welcome you all on board again. I appreciate you and thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure and privilege. You're on board Inspiration with Dr. Sylvia Forchap-Likambi, a leading authority in empowerment and transformation. I love transformation. I love creating change. I love bringing about change. That's why actually I am an empowerment and transformation expert. I like transforming not my own life only. You know, I live through transformation. You know, there's one thing. My goal is to become the best of me that has ever existed with each new day. You know, better until I become the very best. And that's my goal, to see people's life being transformed as well, from good, better to the best of themselves. So honestly, it is powerful. When you create the change you want, life is wonderful. It is pleasant. It is absolutely amazing because you're not a victim. You are in control. Like we said, there are 4 categories of people, you know, who actually are involved when it comes to change. Those who make things happen, which I will talk about the last, and they are in control. Those who make things happen are those who create change. They control the space. They control everything. And actually, we have those who let things happen because they are so passive. They don't want to take actions. We have those who watch things happen. You know, they are not courageous enough to just sit back and watch things happen. And those category of people will say what happened. They are so dormant, you know, in their own world, so actually isolated that they don't even know something has happened. And as I said, when we don't make change in the world, you know, then we are bound to actually be shaped and changed by the change that will happen. I was just talking about the incident that happened in Manchester, where 22 children lost their lives. You know, when good people are silent, when good people do not take action, when good people don't start creating things the world they want, guess what? We will be reacting. It's too late, unfortunately, to what bad people have done. They are so courageous. Why can't we be courageous? And I say one thing that they found from research, the church is always 30, 40 years behind the world. You know, when the radio was created, the church is like, oh, it's evil, it's all of that. They come too late. And yet we complain. The media is corrupting our minds, our children is so negative. You create the change you want to see in the world. You start your own media. There is space. In this world, what have we got? Space, time, and matter. Things are changing. These are constantly changing. If you don't make use of them, then they're going to actually change. And then you must be a victim of that. You know, when the TV came, they said, oh, it was demonic to go on the TV. The church came when it was too late. Nude images all over the place, and yet we complain. Our children are exposed to things that are not good for them. What I mean, create your own media. If you cannot literally, it can be expensive. But most of us have mobile phones right now, smartphones. Just create your media, create your YouTube channel. Do something and create the change you want to see in your world. Start by creating the change you want to see in your life. You cannot be complaining. You cannot let people call you victim. Don't let people victimize you. You know, you must be proactive. You must do something. Because if you don't do anything, change will happen anyway and anyhow. Like I mentioned, imagine you are the driver of a car. Who is in control of the car? Is it the driver or is the passenger? Of course it's the driver. The driver is in absolute control of that car. The passenger sits there and watches the driver, you know, wherever the driver is taking him to or her to. The driver controls the pace of the car and the direction of flow of that car. If the driver is not okay, the passenger is not okay with that, you complain and you are dropped out, or you just stay in there and be silent and go with the driver to the destination and at his pace. Well, the journey of life is the same thing. If we are not driving the change in life, if we are not driving the change within the space that we have, which is actually all the dimensions in terms of height, depth, and width that is around us, it is all that is actually, you know, free. Space is free. It is unoccupied and it is available. If we don't occupy it, remember it is unoccupied, someone will occupy it. Have you looked around your neighborhood? New houses being built. Sometimes in some countries, they come and tell you they have to take off this space. You know, the government is building or some private companies have come over to take over this space. In fact, in Proverbs, it says that if you don't cultivate your land, you don't work on your land, someone else will work on it. It is meant to be taught. It is meant to be sought, you know, sought on. If you don't utilize it, situations, events, people will come and utilize it. It is exactly the same thing. If you don't actually utilize the space around you, go out there and utilize your social media effectively. Rather than doing things, abusing people, using it negatively, lashing out at people, being upset, being angry, gossiping, and falling off with people, use it effectively to bring the change you want to see. First in your life, and then in your surrounding, in your family, in your community, and the world. Like I said, you cannot afford to say you don't want to become an agent of change. There is no question of indecision here. Because if you do not make that decision, guess what? You have already decided. Indecision is a decision by itself. You have decided to become a victim. You have decided to let change happen anyway, and you just sit there and watch. Or let it happen, and you are victimized. So you don't use the space around you, guess what? People will come and use it. And when they use it, they start coming into your territory. You are either pushed. Push inward where you isolate yourself, but then people use your territory, or you are pushed away from your territory and you start complaining. This is not possible. You must be an agent of change to control your life. If you don't want to be in control of your life, guess what? Events will control your life. The other thing in life, you know, when I'm talking about the journey of life, we've got matter. Everything that exists on planet and everything physical, us humans, everything that we see physically is matter. It changes over time. We age over time, whether we like it or not. That will happen. How prepared are we? How proactive are we? Not to wait when this happens. Then we said, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was going to age. Then you start feeling oppressed, depressed, and you start living in denial. I'm not old enough. When you are aware, you are proactive, you get ready, you prepare and plan, and you are so proud to walk with change. Time will come and flow. Time is unidirectional. It flows in one direction only. Time is either flowing past you or you are flowing with it. So there is no two option here. There is nothing of indecision as well with time. If you don't walk with time, guess what? Time will walk past you and you are left behind, and you start complaining and you become a victim of time. So you want to effectively manage everything around you: space, your time, matter, the circumstances, the resources you're given on planet Earth, to bring out the change you want to see in your world and in your life. Like I said, if we do not do this, unfortunately, we have chosen to be victims. And it's a sad place to be, because you're going to be destroyed. When you're a victim, it's not a good thing to talk about. You know, people might pity you. Pitying you will not change the problem. I call on you. I just told you about the story of Dr. Ben Carson, one of the dumbest of his time in his class. He's one of the greatest neurosurgeons that ever lived planet Earth. The youngest who ever held a great top position at the Johns Hopkins Hospital, who operated the conjoined twins, who carried out one of the most successful, neurosurgery in the world. The only black to hold such a top level of position. But what was his life? His mom was an illiterate, but she knew the power of change. She knew they had to create change, or his sons will become victims of change, and life will shape and determine who they will become. And she did not let that happen. She was proactive together with her child. Dr. Ben Carson was ready to make the change in his life that he wanted to see. And now we know of him becoming the greatest neurosurgeon in the world. You can't sit and complain. If you're in the UK, you can't wait when the government changes law, taking taxes, reducing whatever it is benefits, and you complain. Oh, come on. You need to create the change. They are in control. They create what they want. We don't talk about what we want. We wait and watch and wait for policies to come out. When the policies are actually set out, we start complaining. It's too late. They are talking about bringing whatever it is into the schools, and mothers are complaining, fathers are complaining. What are you doing? Put your own bills of the things that you want to see in your world, in your child's school. Because if we don't make these changes in our children's school, guess what? They will bring a bill. The government will bring a bill and pass it to us. Then we start reacting. We start doing, what do they call? How do they call those things they send around? Someone help me. We start doing campaigns. We are reacting. A true leader creates change. Leaders create change, and managers maintain change. That is the difference between a leader, a transformational leader. For 21st century, change is happening so fast. Look at the social media. We must be transformational leaders. You can't afford to be reactive. You can't afford to be responsive, else you will be destroyed and damaged by change. You have a lot of people who don't care about humanity. They are evolving. They are creating change and bringing change. And they are rolling and writing the bills and passing to you and me. And we stand there and start seeing what we're going to do. We start going and praying. We pray when it's a bit too late. When it's a bit too late. The laws have already been passed. The things have already happened. Look at how much solidarity is amongst us in the UK now, following the death of the 22 children. Did we need this to happen before we come together? Some of us don't even know our neighbors. Come on, UK, talk to me. Do you know who live next door to you? Have you ever said good morning to them? Have you ever said you love them? Do your children play together? Do we need a situation like this to happen, to push us to react and come together in solidarity? Something is wrong. We must sit and decide we want change for our future. We want change for our